Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our xCite presenter today, Paul Bass from Paul Bass Digital Marketing, to present to us on Your Name is Your Brand. Whether there is one person in your company or 100, if you're the front door for customer, then this message is for you. Paul is a digital marketing specialist now in his 21st year. Yes, that's right, Paul built his first website back in the 1990s. Since that time, Paul has helped thousands of small business owners across the country develop their own personal brand and build customer relationships that last. This is how you keep customers coming back time and time again. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Paul Bass.
21 years ago, paulbars.com came to be, though I started developing websites 2 years before that. And once I'd figured out how do you put a website together? And because I was working from home as a single parent at the time, I had to figure out how to do this stuff myself. There was no training, there was no YouTube, there was no Udemy, and all of these other different things. But I found a mentor in the USA, and he said to me, well, I think you should just brand your name. I said, why? Why would I do that? No one knows me. He said, then because no matter what you do in the future, you'll be taking your name with you and your people will follow you. Now, I'm still in the same business, though it has evolved over time, but it's certainly made good sense. And I think perhaps if you have, a short name like mine, unique spelling, you can see there on the screen, double RS, a little bit unique. And if you have a 20, character name, might be a little bit more difficult, but you can shorten that and brand yourself. So what I wanted to talk about today was the different ways that you can approach this, whether you're the owner of the company, whether you're just the face of the company, or whether you're just a representative of the company. It doesn't matter whether you're just this or just that. In the eyes of your customers, you are it. You are for them representing that company. And so if you want to take some notes, I've gone with the principle of 3. And with each different thing, it's always important when we're learning something new to keep it simple. We know the KISS principle. So I like to work with 3 or 4, at most maybe half a dozen. If you're giving someone notes to help them learn or telling them about a product or service, don't give them 20 things to think about. That's too many. About half a dozen, 3 or 4 is ideal. So the very first thing on my notes is that when you're looking at branding yourself, it could actually be your name. And it really does depend on where you are in the company. Maybe it's your company name. You are the company, therefore you also brand the company name. But it could also be what you do in the company. Let's say you work for larger corporate. I come from ex-corporate, and okay, I'm an ex-Woolworths manager. I've got Pizza Hut management in there as well, and various retail stores along the line. And they were a brand in themselves. But in my position with those things, I was also looking to be known for what I did. Therefore, I would brand myself within what I did in the company. So, Loz, great example with what you do. Super connector, yes. Name, easy to remember, great. But if not, super connector, easy to remember. And this is one of the principles, one of the key things that we have to keep in mind is easy to remember. And I would use the principle of a good domain name, easy to type, easy to spell, easy to remember. So that is not only a good principle for a good domain name, it's also a great principle for how you want to be remembered by your customers. So let's say it is your name, and you have a 500 character name. Okay, not quite. Maybe 10, 15 letters in the full name. Maybe you can abbreviate that. Loz has a great example. Now, Lorene, easy to remember, but Loz, so much easier still. And then Loz, super connector. That works really well. And I remembered that from the first time when I met her last December. So it could also be not just the name, but what you do. So here's the question. What do we do with this? Let's say we come up with a great way to brand ourselves and what we do in the business. Well, we have to grab our online properties. And this is our next 3 items that we want to look at. Grab a good domain, grab your email, and try and grab your social as well. As many as you can, even if you're not going to use them, just so that others don't take them from you. So spend some time, look around, see what social is available online and the domain name, and if possible, try and get them all the same. Or if for me, I used to do a lot of work internationally, so I would then also brand AU at the end of them. If you're in Sydney, then you want to just perhaps SYD for Sydney, if the name isn't available. And then, of course, you would pimp your profile. And if you haven't done the LinkedIn training that is available through BX, go and do that. Pimp your profile, find your target marketplace, put your brand out there, because the goal is simply this, and we'll move to this in one moment. It's to get people from out there to you, to your brand. Now, unless they happen to know what your phone number is, not likely, before they call you, they're likely to want to find out more about you. And the reason for this is, whether it's finding out about you or finding out about your product or service, people don't want to feel unknowledgeable. They don't want to feel, dumb, so to speak. And in that regard, they've got to learn about you beforehand. So that's why you get your domain, get your email, get your social, even if they're forwarded to your company website, if you're just a representative of the actual company. Okay. So when you're doing that, what's the next step then? How do you position yourself as an authority? With content, with knowledge. So if we look at the 3 main areas, the 3 things that you can apply when it comes to putting yourself out there, you need to be knowledgeable, you need to be approachable, and you need to be everywhere when people go looking for you. So if we break those down very quickly, knowledgeable means you understand what you do, what you can do for your customers, and how you're going to do it. Look at it from a customer point of view. All they really care about, honestly, is just themselves and finding out what they want, and that's okay. So if you look at it always from that customer point of view, and you start creating your own content to talk about what you do and how you can do that for them, how easy you can possibly make whatever that product, whatever that service, whatever that solution is for them, and then you focus on content that does that. The next one is being approachable. Now, this is an interesting one. I find this, and because of how busy I am, it is difficult. I have a calendar. I have to have a calendar to catch up. And if you want to talk, I had a text message come in earlier while we were doing the introductions. So I just have an auto reply back. Hey, I'm in a call at the moment. Can you just quickly book something on my calendar? Now, I will follow them up personally myself. And I'm going to say thank you actually to Loz and to Matt for the encouragement that they have given me just to change my approach. It's so easy to get caught up with the digital and forget about the personal. So yes, I'll text back, hey, grab a call in my calendar. And if they haven't actually done that by the time we finish up this Zoom call, I will get on the phone and I will call them back. So you need to let your customers or prospective customers know, yes, I am approachable. And then where are you going to be? Well, you need to be everywhere and literally try and get whatever content you create. And this is a whole seminar on its own, content creation and distribution. But you would create, say, for example, one good piece of content which explains a bit about what you do, and who you do it for. And then you send that to your website. And from there, it then goes out to your social. From there, it then goes out through email. From there, it then goes out through your referral partners. And they share your content just as you would also be looking to share their content. And it gets you out everywhere. So couple of quick questions to wrap up, and I forgot to take note of the time, so I hope you're doing that for me, Darren.
Yeah, no, you're all good.
Yep. Website. Should you have your own? I mean, if you own your own company, sure. If you're the business owner, of course, you've got a website. I still came across someone a little while back, didn't have a website, so helped them fix that up. But should you? Absolutely. But what if you're one of the staff? What if you're a salesperson? What if you're in real estate and there's the company website and all the houses are there? Should you have your own under your name? Absolutely, especially in an industry like real estate, because you're likely to move from time to time. So what do you then do with that? Well, you put content on it. Does it need to be a full website? No, that's what the company website's for. But it brands you as the authority in the business if you're working for somebody else. Next question. What about business directories? What if you're an employee and you're in sales or you're in marketing? The company has their website. Should you put yourself out on the business directories? Absolutely. Why not? Get yourself out there. It's what you do in the company that makes the difference to brand your name. I mean, you want the leads to come back to you. And what about content? Should you create your own content? Absolutely. Oh boy, more than ever. Videos like we're doing today are one of the easiest ways to do that. I have just a little stand here. Obviously, you can't see the camera. I have a full camera and light setup for when I'm doing other videos as well. Do you need that? No, not really. What you need is a decent phone. More importantly, a decent microphone. Not necessarily a big one like this, but a little one like that, which I use for taking my calls, not good enough. You do need good audio as an absolute minimum. We will watch. We're happy to watch, average quality video, but we're not happy to listen to poor quality audio. So if you look at that and take that approach, then you can start to brand yourself. And anytime you create content, you get it out there in the world. And one thing then, just to wrap up also on that, is do you have to be on camera? That's a good one. I won't even go around the room, but I would imagine probably at least half, maybe more. No, we don't want to be on camera. We're not happy. We'll do it here in Zoom, but not for something more than that. No problem. Do a slideshow presentation and then just the audio with a good quality photo. We've got some photographers here, and I'm sure you know others as well. So the simple rule is this. How do you brand yourself through your content? And Darren, can I just get a quick check on time?
Sure.
How are we going?
Yeah, you've got a few minutes. You've got a minute.
Got a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you a very, very simple system for maximizing your time and getting that content out. So I'm imagining that you've got your own sort of setup profiles, your social website, and so on. What do you do then with the content? How do you create that content? My recommendation has always been a slideshow presentation videoed with an audio background. Just imagine you've got about half a dozen points just for something quick, something deeper. You can go in depth more, sure, but half a dozen points. You create 2 slides for each of those, which gives you 12 slides, and you record a audio presentation which goes over it, package it up. There's a lot of free software will do this online. What do you do with that video? Well, it goes to YouTube or Vimeo. It goes to your website, of course, embedded from there. It gets shared out through social. You'd send it through email as well. But then what? Well, you've got half a dozen or more slides. So they go on SlideShare, which of course embeds back into LinkedIn. They can become social media cards, which you then share with perhaps a paragraph of information throughout the month. So they go out and you get to reuse them if you have evergreen services. Then what do you do? Well, you've recorded an audio, so why not get a transcript of that audio and make an article of it? If you're running this on your website, then you can take out the highlights, the great points, and click tweet this point. There's a little plugin that will do that. Click, bang, it goes to Twitter if some of your marketplace are there. Or take quotes then, the big sort of the salient points from your audio. So you've got an article, which is the transcript. You've got these beautiful headlines as well, which can also then be shared from your website to social. The whole point is this. You want to get people from out there back to your website, which brings them to you. And it really doesn't matter whether you are the business owner and it's the company website, you own it, or whether you're a representative of the business and the company and you're looking to then look after that marketing, generate leads for them, and you still then bring them into the company, but they came in through you. And so then when they're part of a group of some sort like this, and hey, who can we connect you to? I think of you. I don't think of the company. I think of you. So no matter the position, no matter who you are, where you are, what you do, you need to brand yourself so that when people are thinking of your type of product or service, they think of you. And then they go looking for you. And the system that we have with the referral partnerships, beautiful. You've got content that you can, your referral partnerships can share. You're generating partnerships that you can share. You're referring customers to the individual, not just the company. And that's how it all works. So that's a very quick snapshot of branding yourself as the leader, as the authority in your industry. And the final thing, how long does it take to be seen as an authority in the eyes of the customer? As long as it takes for them to believe in you. That's really it. Here's the beautiful thing about marketing. Marketing has nothing to do with reality. It's all about perception. It's what they think of you that makes the difference, not what actually is. Proof in the pudding is quite simple. How many people know someone, we've certainly read about it, but how many people know someone who have been scammed? They've bought into something that looks fantastic. They've spent the money. The product, the service has failed. It may not even been an illegal something or other, but it failed because the perception was outstanding, but the delivery was appalling. So we need to, of course, make sure that the perception is amazing and then the delivery on the product is exceptional. It's how we keep members here in BX. It's why we have the team following people up.
Absolutely. I might just kind of close it up there, Paul, because I want to leave a minute or two for questions and answers. But that was an exceptional presentation, you know, a topic that's very close to my heart, content creation, as you mentioned. It's so important these days. Has anybody got any questions for Paul? There must be some burning marketing or branding questions. Paul Sheaf.
Of course. You mentioned video a fair bit there, and I've got a little interest in video for some reason.
Just a bit.
And so what are your thoughts about using video on your website in various places?
Okay, very important. Quick rule, video on website. If you're going to have video on the home page, rule number one, don't have it autoplay. Never have it autoplay. Sorry, here in Australia, our internet speed just isn't consistently good enough. Make them press play. Rule number two, if you're going to have video on your website, on the homepage, the homepage one must be professional. The rest of them can be this with good audio, but the homepage must be as good as you can possibly make it.
100%.
Yep.
Makes
Thank you.
sense. Makes
We're on
sense.
the same page.